Hello, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all well. I hope you've been doing some lovely crafting. Well, today I thought I'd bring together a few techniques we've used on previous cards. We've done some backgrounds before. We're going to be making this background. We've done a sort of single spotlight, so I thought we'd do a bit more. We've done a little bit of blending, so colour blending, sorry. So all of these brought together to bring you this absolutely gorgeous card. It could be birthday, it could be anniversary, it could be wedding, it could just be new job, so we're going to celebrate, whatever you want. Really enjoyed putting this together because I've been able to make it exactly as I wanted by making my own background papers. Now if you want to see how to do it, let's go and have a look. Let's have a look at how we made this card. So I'm going to start. I've got two pieces of just white, super smooth stamping card, whatever you want to call it. Now one's going to go on the top and one's going to be my background. Yep, I'm sure you've got lots of pretty papers, but I thought we'd have a go at making our own background. So first thing I need to do, get your stamping platform, whichever platform you like to use. And I'm going to put my first piece of card on. This is 4 1/4 by 6 inches. I'll find out where I need to put the magnet in a minute. And I've just got this stamp. I believe it's possibly a woodware stamp, Cosmos or something like that. And that will fit really nicely in here. Now I need to stamp this twice. I'm only going to stamp it once to show you, because once I've stamped it once you get the gist. So I'm going to pick it up and then I'm going to go in with my alcohol proof ink pad, because I'm going to have a go at colouring with alcohol pen. So if you want to do it with watercolours, swap your regular paper over for watercolour paper and then pick up a waterproof ink pad. All very straightforward. So I'm going to put that on there and then I'm just going to stamp that like that. Okay, so once you have finished stamping, you will get your image like this. And then we're going to do a bit of colouring. So I'm stamping on to my cardstock. I said it was regular cardstock. It was actually Nina cardstock. I forgot. I changed it so that it would blend. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour in the centres of my of my flowers. And then I'm going to add some colour and some detail. So I'm using two different colours. You can see I've been practising on that side. So I've got my lavender blend, which has got a light purple and a mid purple, and then I've got my pink violet blend and I've got that light colour and that darker colour. So I'm just going to colour them in different ways. So I'm going to start at the centres and I'm just going to colour out with some flicks, and then I'm also going to think where it's going to be darkest, and I'm just going to come out like that. I think actually I could do with doing a bit more yellow in the centre. I'll do that in a minute. So we can just come out like that. Now I said you needed this twice. Once you're going to leave it as is, and once you're going to colour like this. So only colour one of the two that you've done. So then I'm going to go in with my mid-tone. That was my mid-tone. I want to go in with lighter tone, don't I? There we go, lighter tone, that's better. Lighter tone. I wanted it back with the same pen. And then we can just come over there and then they will just blend out. There we go. They will all, the alcohol will just, I'm just going over it and it will just blend. If you need it a little, any little bits highlighting, just come over it with your pen. Think about where it's going to be darkest, where they overlap, like there. And they're always going to be darker towards the centre. Then I'm going to get my paler colour and I'm just going to go all over my pink, and I'm going to go all over with the palest of the pinks. Now some people think you always have to use the same pens, but I like to add in different colours. I'm thinking, yeah, we've got Cosmos in our garden. Have I ever seen Cosmos like this? Possibly not. But it's all about colouring how you want to do it. You know, you could be doing these yellows, you could be doing these reds, whatever. I just fancied doing a bit of purple. I do like crafting with purple, pinks and purples. Definitely some of my go-to. Now, obviously, there's a big gap between the two colours. So I'm going to go in with my mid-tone and I'm just going to blend across there. And at the moment, it's a bit jarring, but don't worry, we've not finished. So we can just, it's quite nice to pick out bits. You can do it like that, or you know, I've done flicks or circles, whichever one you want. But it's definitely better not to have straight lines. You don't want straight lines. That's what you don't want. So then I can come back in with my paler pink and then just blend over the top all the way over, just like that. And then the colours will all blend in just there. Now I've got a bit of a gap between my purple, so I'm going to come back in with my paler purple. I'm going to go over that one. I find that when I do alcohol colouring, you do multiple layers. You always seem to do multiple layers. Remember, these are opaque pens, so every time you go in, it's going to make it a little bit darker. But I just think this makes you just get a better blend by going in again and again. So I'm going to come in with my darker one. It's still only the mid-tone. Just come down like that. Now I can see a bit of a gap. Not a very good blend at the top, so I'm going to come in with the top colour and just blend it over again. You just work it until you're happy with the blend. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera for this, but can you see, we just keep working it round. Can I see? And you can see how we're going. Spend a bit more time on it than that. And then I'm going to come in with my green. So I've got my dull green, and I'm just going to use my mid one where I think it's going to be darkest. So on the joins where it comes out from underneath, under the flower heads. There, you see it's overlapped there with shadow. It'll be a bit darker there, and it'll be a bit darker just there. And here, look, can you see where anything overlaps? So there's going to be dark. It's going to be in shadow. And then just there. Then I'm going to go in my lighter tone, and I'm just going to blend that down. You'll see I've changed from the brush nib pens to the chisel nib, only because it's just a bit more smaller area. So I just find it easier with the chisel nib. And I'm not doing lots of blending on this bit. I go, oops, over the top of where I've just coloured. Now, this, you're not going to see all of it anyway, so don't worry about it. If you wanted to, you'd only have to colour small areas, but I'm just sort of colouring in bits to show you. And then I actually thought, how about with the, with the vintage, with the yellow green blend. I don't know where I got vintage from. So I'm going to come in with this one. I do like this one. It does go well with the dull green as well. Come up there. Oops, I went over a bit. And then I can see that's going to be a bit darker. A bit darker just there. Then I'll come back in with my dull green because I think it works really well. I can just take my mid one and I can just go over the top, and it almost just lightens out the point of the grasses. I went over, but don't worry, just to show you the gist of it. And then I can do the same on, let's do it on this one so I can show you how to cut it. Come down here. Take your time, I'm rushing these a bit. And I'm going all over the place. Please take your time. There we go. Now, the other thing you could do is you could stamp this image onto some masking sheets and mask over it. And then you could add even more texture in the background and detail. But I'm going to keep it fairly clean and simple, just because that's the look I'm wanting to go for this. Now, when I come to do the buds, what I would probably do is I'd get my darker, my mid-tone of my pink, put it on the top, just there, bring it down a bit further than you think. Then I'll get my mid-tone of my purple, and I will just come up there and overlap them. Because remember, colours are always darker when they're in bud because it's all condensed together. Just like that. Okay, so colour the whole thing. And then I'm just going to get some circle dies and cut out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a bit here, but I'm going to cut 3 at that side. I'll move them around in different angles, and 3 on that side. Okay, so, like magic, this is what I've cut out. I can show you. So that one goes in here. That one goes just there. I've got one just there. Ooh, 1, 2 and 3. I've got one that comes, where does this one go? Where does this one go? It comes out of here. Ah, there it goes, like that. Couldn't see what I was doing for a minute. And I've got those. So I've cut them out, and once they're cut out, I've just gone with my ink blender round the edges of my cardstock. Okay, so I've got that, and then the other thing I've done, as I said, I've done it twice. So on this one, the white one, I've just inked the edges. Don't need to ink the edges on that one, but just on this one. So the only colour I'm adding to this one is the white around the edges. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop these onto here. Now you'll see I've added a few little gems. I've just done it for speed. And I've also got some white card. I was thinking about putting this straight onto purple, but when your purples don't match exactly, it doesn't look so good. So I'm just going to do the same technique that I frequently do and just put that white border in and then put them on there. We've talked about this so many times, and it just really, really lifts it and gives such a pretty effect. Okay, so let's just put these onto here. What I'm doing is just adding a very fine border around the edge. Just like that. Now I've got all these. I'm going to leave those for a minute. But you know what? I actually think this, I'm sure, if I think about it, we could perhaps do something with this. We could perhaps do something. I'll have to have a think. So I'm sure we could do something with that one as well on another project, but we'll see. So let's just put those to one side. And now we need to do our card base. So I have got myself a nice card base. I've just made it from a 8x8 card, and I'm going to pop some purple on. Now, this is where you could go into your crafty stash and you could get yourself a paper. I'm sure you've got lots of papers that you could be using. I decided I didn't want to do that. What I decided to do, now we're going to make our own background. And I'm just bringing in techniques that we've been using in all my previous projects. So we're not introducing anything new. So I'm going to bring in my rocker blocks. I'm just going to use my alcohol-proof ink because it's on my desk. Nothing more complicated than that. And I've got a text stamp. This one is off, if I can lift it up. Oops, it's off. I think it's a tattered lace background set. So we're going to pop this on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to very roughly ink it. So I know I've missed quite a lot, but that's what I wanted before it stamps and you go, oh, Corrine, you didn't get it all. So I'm going to pop that on there, and I'm going to come up round to the sort of top right hand corner with this one. Yeah, brilliant. It's missed quite a bit. And then we're going to come in again with the other one again, and I'm going to come in down more towards the bottom left. Now, all I can say is a lot of this is going to be hidden, so don't get too hung up about it. I'm going to bring in this little bit of texture, which I really like, and I'm going to pick up, not that one, I want gold. Let's pick up a gold pigment ink pad. So we can pop onto here. So you see we're mixing and matching as we go. So let's pop that over the top. It's really good to go over. So we're just giving hints of the colour. And let's come then across here. You can't go wrong with this. Every time you do this, it'll be different. And every time you do it, it'll be perfect. I can promise you. So let's do another one down there. There we go. Just wanted to do a little bit of that. So what else do I want to do? I know what I wanted to do. I used, oh, I put it away. There it is. Now, I don't know how much of this you're going to see. So remember, a lot of this is going to be hidden. So don't get too hung up on about it. So I've got numbers. These were off one of Lou Collins texture stamps. I used it in one of my last, well, very recent demos. So let's just put some of this. Oh, that's going to have to go there now because it fell off my rocker block. I didn't. Should put that onto here. Actually, I might use. I've got some duet ink pads as well. Let's have a go with some duet ink pads. I like these. And then we can pop in a bit I could put a bit more. Let's go a bit just here. Oh, I like that colour, yes. Now we're going to use that colour so it's absolutely spot on. There, I need something a bit here. So, I've got this ink set here, which is from All and Create. And I love this stamp. So let's take that and let's get some duet on this, soft heather all over. Now you see I'm just using my rocker block because I'm just going in once and that's going to be enough. I'm going to bring that over. I'm not too concerned about the centre because most of the centre is going to be hidden. Right, so I've got quite a bit of stamping on there. I'm going to get some inking now and I'm going to use my vintage Merlot. I'm going to use it with one of my Time for Tea blending brushes. And I'm just going to use this now. It's just a circle stencil. Just one that I've got. I have so many stencils. I love collecting stencils. They're my new favourite at the moment. But look at that. It just puts everything into, you know, just adds layers and dimension and depth, doesn't it? Let's come up here. I want to do this one a bit lighter because there's gold on there as well. But look at all those layers, but they just work. Just on here. I'm going to bring a bit down here. Now what I could do as well is I could change the different purples because I've got a couple of purples here, but I quite like this because I think this is going to help to pull bits in. Let's just do a little bit here as well. There we go. So there is no rhyme nor reason, it's just as you want. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of washi tape. I want to add all dimensions. So I've got some washi tape here. Let me see what I can find out of here. So I've got some washi tapes. No, I'm going to use that one like I thought I would. I'm going to use those two as well. So let's just bring in this that we had. So this is going to go on here and it's going to go just here. So you can see now why I was saying don't worry too much. So we can see little bits of everything poking out. So now I know where this is going to go. I can just grab a little bit of washi tape and I can just add a few bits. I don't want it to go off to the end. So one of those, and I want the torn edges and I want them at different lengths. So if you think that's going to go on there, you see, so I'm not using any more than I need to. I'm being quite frugal with this because I'm only using it enough to go behind. So that's going to go there. So it's just adding a little bit more dimension, and I think I'll put another row up here. Oh, I pulled up a bit more than I think I need here. Pop that one on. And this one. Oops. Do like using washi tape. It's a, you know, it's fun. It's really good to use, and it just adds another texture, another dimension, and adds a bit more colour. And I've just lost the end of my washi tape. There we go. Oops. I know I wanted a rough end, but that was a tad bit too rough. And the great thing is you can wrap it, you can just tear it like I'm doing now. It's entirely up to, let's go down this end. I'm actually going over that stamp, but that's absolutely fine. So this is going to go like that. So you can see the ends just don't show at all. I'm going to show you the one that I practiced on. I actually put washi tape down there. I actually put washi tape down the centre. Then I realised it was going to be covered, so I've just added the extra little bits on there. So this is exactly what I did. Now the only thing that's different in here is there's a couple of gems on there. There was one there, but it's fallen off. So actually I'll use this one that we've just done because I quite like that one. So let's bring back, I'm whizzing through this because it is so easy to do and there's nothing you can do wrong. So let's just put that one onto here, onto my card base. Oh, that's what I've not done. That's what I've not done. Nearly missed it. Take this back. Let's go back. So remember we went around the edges of our circles. So we're going to use the same colour to go around the edge of this frame, this matte layer, just to tie everything together. It all works. So we've got it, we've got this coming around here, and we've now got it coming around this layer as well. So everything matches. And it really does sort of, it's like the full stop is blending around the edges, I always think. So you'll see I've done a mixture of blending brushes and blending pads. It's entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. You use what works for you. So I'm just actually going to get the vintage Merlot and just go over it a little bit. I'm going to do that one really light. Just create my own colour. Brings everything together because I've got the vintage Merlot there. I just think it really, really works. There we go. Look at that. It's my new thing, I think, making my own papers or effects of papers. Really, really love doing it. And you can add so many layers. I've done this digitally in the past, but at the moment I am just absolutely loving putting this onto here. Once I've got that on there, you know me, I know this is my stamp pressure tool, but oh, brilliant at blending that glue out underneath. Really, really is. Okay, so once I've got there, I'm going to bring this one back in and I'm going to take the foam tape off the back that I've put on. Now this is about a 3mm foam tape, and do you know what I perhaps could have just done with a 2mm foam tape? It wouldn't have hurt. Little bit of wet glue, however you do that. You might do it with a glue stick or whatever, just so that it doesn't grab. Now you'll notice, can you see how my foam tape hasn't gone to the edges? Because I'm going to have edges coming off the edge of my card. So because of that, I thought I would just do it like that. There we go. You can see on to there. And 6. There we are. Right. Okay. So we're going to pop these back on. And again, if you struggle, just put a little bit of wet glue on the back. And that means that while you're putting them down, you've got a chance to move them. So all I'm doing is looking at making them the image line back up. So I'm looking at that line there and I'm looking at the line there. Now if those two line up, then everything else will. You only have to pick 2 points to make it all line up. And then we can come down into this corner and making that line up, making that line up. You see, I'm just using my Sticks 2 foam pads. Brilliant for this. Really, really work. So the glue is just, the only reason I'm using glue is so that I've got time to move things around. So I know that comes down there. If I move that, and it's all about making sure that everything lines up. Otherwise it doesn't. So I did a sort of a spotlight effect before. So this is a spotlight effect on steroids, I guess. It's a really, really one. But what I've also tried to do is make sure that my spotlights aren't uniform. They don't want to be soldiers standing on a parade. I really don't want them regimented. I wanted them randomly all over. Really did. Now, I've seen lots like this where people have gone a little bit more grunge, added a lot more texture, stamps in the background. Yeah, go for that if that's the style you want. I wanted to keep this fairly clean and simple. I'm just going to have to turn that round so that I can see to line it up. That lines up there. That one lines up. Let's see where it is. That one's lining up just there. So look at that. Right, now you'll notice I've left a gap. I've left a gap on purpose. And into that gap, I'm going to pop a sentiment. Now, you can put your sentiment like that, but I want to put my sentiment parallel with the card, not with the topper. So what I thought I'd do is I'd get some 3D glue. It's all about using the right glue for the purpose. And I'm just going to pop a blob on there. And I'm just going to put a bit bigger blob on there. And it will basically, it'll just self-level itself. So I'm going to start with my card straight on my mat, so that if I got that straight on my mat, I can then, so I want that to be parallel down there, don't I? That goes like that. Now I need a few gems on here. So I've got my little bag of gems here. So they're like dewdrop gems. So let's pop them onto the back of there. I have actually got a little tray, a 6-2 tray somewhere, but who knows where that is. So I've got my gem picker-upper and I've got my wet glue, and I want a little dewdrop down here. Now, if you wanted to, you could be going with black gems here, but I just thought something a little bit sort of that water, sort of giving that effect of the dewdrop, the water effect would look nice. One up here. Try and alternate the sizes of your dewdrops that you're using. One down here. Let's go for a little tiny one there, look. And there. Now, do I need any more anywhere? I might just put one up here. Just a small one. Just ties all the layers together, doesn't it? Just use that end of my picker-upper to turn it over. Oh, where did that just drop to? There. No, where did that drop to? I can't see. Let's find another one. Flick that over. There we go. And my glue. I've lost my glue then. Pop that down. You just pop it down. Just there. There we go. Oh no, the others are stuck down. There we go. Now, I've not done any, flicking or anything like that. And then we can, you can see on there, I've kept it nice, sort of clean and fresh, but we've got that spotlight effect, and we've got the lovely, lovely blending around the outside. The paper is totally unique to you, so that no one else will have that. I think that a little bit different, but I think it's really effective. I hope you like it, and that's our project for today. So please remember to subscribe to the channel, and then you don't miss out on any of the tutorials that I post. I'm trying still, even though I'm working to do 4 a week. It's going all right so far. We're still getting there. Bit of the skin of the teeth on my end, but you don't need to worry about that. But that's how it's going. I've also set up my Buy Me a Coffee account, and a couple of lovely people have contributed to that. And don't forget my cards that I make on this channel are now available to buy through my Facebook page as well as some of my new YouTube pens. So they're all available over on my Facebook page if you want to go and have a look at those. So thanks for joining me today. Until next time, we shall probably be tomorrow. Happy crafting.